Welcome back to the deep dive. We're here, as always, to cut through all the noise and give you the essential insights from stacks of source material.
No easy task sometimes.
Definitely not. And today, we're heading back to Port Charles for a really intense period. We're deep diving into General Hospital for the weeks covering September 17th through the 26th.
Yeah, this isn't just your standard soap drama. This is, well, the sources painted it as a time of massive upheaval. Real foundational shifts happen.
Absolutely. We're talking about widespread anxiety, some serious secret agent business, and at the core of it all, a truly devastating tragedy that changes the Quartermain family forever.
It really does. It's one of those moments that, will reverberate for a long, long time in Port Charles.
For sure. And our mission today, based on what the sources highlighted, is really twofold. We're tracking the intense mounting stress on Dante Falconeri and juxtaposing that with the unavoidable crushing heartbreak waiting for Tracy Quartermain.
And the sources actually laid this out perfectly for us. We've got these really specific daily spoilers for that first Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Right, setting up all the little mysteries, the police work.
Exactly. The WSB stuff bubbling under the surface, it kind of weaves this complex web, and then bang, the second week deals with the massive fallout from this central event.
It's structured for maximum impact, really.
Definitely. It draws you right into the chaos.
Okay, so let's jump right in. Wednesday, September 17th. The mood is already pretty tense, isn't it? Because this is right after the Drew Kane shooting.
Yeah, the investigation kicks off immediately, and the spotlight, according to our sources, swings pretty fast onto Kai Taylor. He's described as being basically in a full-blown panic.
And we know why the PCPD is suddenly so interested in him. It's this baseball bat. They flagged it as an item of interest, and crucially, Kai's fingerprints are all over it.
Now, the sources do point out, reasonably, that, okay, he's an assistant, he works there, he has keys. His prints might be on lots of things.
Yeah.
That in itself isn't damning.
But, and this is the big but the sources emphasize.
That's where the bat was found. Near the body.
Exactly. That detail changes everything. It takes it from just, a household item to something potentially very incriminating.
Right. Suddenly it suggests a connection to the actual event right there at the scene. Was he a witness? Did he grab it, drop it? It just complicates things massively for Kai. The sources really honed in on that location detail.
So from physical evidence causing suspicion, we shift to emotional maneuvering, creating vulnerability. Wednesday also features a key interaction between Willow and Tracy.
Ah, yes. Willow approaches Tracy, saying she hopes Tracy takes this chance.
Which feels very pointed, very loaded, especially given what's coming.
Absolutely. The timing is deliberate. Our analysis suggests this chance could mean a couple of things. One, maybe Tracy finally decides to, get on the right side of the custody issues with Willow and the kids, stop the games.
Or possibility number two, maybe she tries to make amends with Drew, though the sources pretty much shot that down immediately.
Yeah, they called that a real long shot. Knowing Tracy, that kind of sudden turnaround, especially with Drew, highly unlikely.
But either way, the scene works, right? It chips away at Tracy's defenses, shows a little vulnerability right before the rug gets pulled out from under the whole family.
Precisely. It puts her in a position where she's being asked to choose family unity, maybe, over her usual scheming self. It sets her up emotionally for the devastation that's about to hit.
And speaking of vulnerable and out of place, Britt Westbourne is having a very weird Wednesday.
Oh, definitely. She has this very intense encounter, the sources say, and then she wakes up somewhere totally unfamiliar, asking that classic soap line, "Where the heck am I?"
It's quite a situation for her. She's broke, she's on the run from dangerous people.
So the sources were speculating quite a bit about where she could be. Did Jason stash her somewhere safe? Is she with Sidwell? Or did Pascal somehow get to her?
But the interesting part is that the sources seemed pretty convinced she wasn't in immediate danger.
Right. They specifically noted they didn't think she was in danger quite yet, which suggests, maybe it is Jason's place or somewhere arranged for her safety, not necessarily a kidnapping situation at this point.
It keeps her mobile and hidden, which is crucial given her whole situation.
Yeah, especially with the WSB angle hanging over her.
Okay, let's pivot to something the sources were less than impressed with. This ongoing Drew bribery stuff.
Oh, boy. Yeah, the source material was pretty blunt about this, calling it bad writing or poorly executed quite often.
What was the main issue they had with it?
The core idea is that Drew supposedly paid this huge bribe, like $1 million, to keep the kids away from Willow. The sources just found the mechanics of it totally unbelievable.
How so?
Well, the main problem is the evidence itself. The idea that Drew, a smart quartermain, would hide physical evidence of a massive bribe-like cash or documents in a safe. It makes no sense.
Right. You'd expect offshore accounts, complex transactions, not something so easily discovered.
It's exactly. Real financial crime on that scale isn't usually about finding a bag of cash. The sources argued it undermined Drew's intelligence and felt like a clumsy way to frame Michael. They even questioned why Sonny would buy into such a weak setup.
It just feels convenient, maybe, for the plot.
That's how the sources framed it, a
Yeah.
bit contrived. But regardless of its flaws, this supposed evidence is driving the plot forward. And that brings Dante into the mix.
Right. He's comparing notes with Chase on Wednesday. And the big question the sources raised is, does Dante know the details of this bribe evidence found in Drew's safe?
That knowledge is key, because Chase clearly sees the leverage here. He tells Brooklyn he has this information.
The bribery evidence.
Yeah, the evidence, quote-unquote. And he thinks he can use it to stop Willow from destroying her life, presumably by pursuing custody or some other action against Michael.
So Chase is ready to use potentially flawed evidence for personal reasons.
It seems so. To protect Brooklyn, maybe influence the custody situation. And this puts Dante in a really tough spot, doesn't it?
Absolutely. He's caught between his job as a cop, looking at the legality of this evidence, and his personal loyalties to basically everyone involved, the Quartermains, the Corinthos family. It's a classic Dante dilemma.
A total tightrope walk for him.
Okay, shifting gears from police work to spy games. While the PCPD is focused on this questionable bribe, the WSB secrets are really heating up. Vaughn is putting the screws to Jocelyn Jacks.
Questioning why she'd keep quiet. And the secret is huge.
Remind us what the core secret is again?
It's that Britt knows Jocelyn is secretly working for the WSB, but Britt hasn't told Carly?
And the irony, which the sources pointed out, is incredible. Jocelyn trusts Britt. Why again?
Because Britt literally saved her life. That act created this bond of trust strong enough to keep this massive secret from Jocelyn's own mother.
Which is wild considering how much Jocelyn supposedly despises Carly.
Exactly. The contrast is stark. This life-saving bond with Britt overrides her relationship with her mom on this crucial issue.
And meanwhile, Carly is doing what Carly does best, trying to control everything.
Naturally. She corners Jason Morgan and basically demands, not asks, demands that he tell her immediately if he finds out anything about her kids, anything at all.
That's intense pressure.
Immense. And Jason is already sitting on this explosive information about Jocelyn being a WSB agent.
So he's trapped. Tell Carly and potentially endanger Jocelyn or break WSB protocol, or keep quiet and risk Carly finding out some other way, destroying her trust in him right when things are already incredibly stressful.
It's an impossible position. He protects Jocelyn's life or protects his relationship with Carly. There's no easy answer.
Wow. Okay, that sets up a lot of tension leading into Thursday. What a Wednesday.
Yeah, it leaves all these threads dangling, ready to get tangled even further.
Let's see how they develop on Thursday, September 18th. So Thursday rolls around and we're back with Britt. Her situation's getting pretty desperate, right? Still broke, still on the run.
Yeah, the sources highlighted Thursday as the day she finally has to face facts and swallow her pride. She needs help, specifically financial help.
And her options are limited but significant. Does she ask Jason?
That's one possibility. Asking Jason for money would definitely give him more leverage, maybe pull her closer, which he wants. But it's a blow to her independence.
What's the other option?
Turning to her mother, Liz Lobrecht. And the analysis suggested this was actually more likely.
Really? Even with all their drama?
Well, yeah. The sources figured that despite any recent anger Liz might have felt towards Britt, at the end of the day, maternal instinct wins out. Lisbeth will obviously give her money.
Okay. So mom is the safer bet, emotionally speaking, maybe. Less complicated strings attached than asking Jason.
Potentially. Or maybe just different strings. But the point is that mother-daughter bond, however strained, is seen as fundamentally stronger in this moment of need. It shows family sometimes pushes past the immediate conflict.
Interesting. Okay, while Britt's dealing with pride and finances, Molly Lansing Davis is being very secretive on Thursday.
And the sources offered a couple of really different kind of fun possibilities for what she might be hiding.
What were they?
Possibility one is pure Port Charles charm. It's about Cody Bell. Specifically, her developing feelings for him. And maybe she's written a new romance novel that's basically about him.
Huh. Molly, the secret romance novelist, using the town's rugged men as inspiration. I kind of love that.
It's a great little side story, isn't it? A nice bit of levity. But the second possibility is much heavier.
Which is?
That her secrecy is actually related to the Drew bribery case. Remember, she works in the ADA's office. She might have access to confidential information.
Okay, so is she hiding a manuscript or hiding evidence? That's a huge difference.
Exactly. If she knows something from inside the investigation, especially given her family connections to the Corinthos clan, that information could be explosive. It could derail the case, or maybe even expose Michael further. Either way, she's holding on to something significant.
That weight, that atmosphere of stress, it really seems to be hitting Dante hard by Thursday.
Oh, definitely. He shows up to see Cody, and he makes this plea. He asks Cody, point blank, to stop him from doing something stupid.
Okay, but first, there's this funny moment the sources mentioned.
Yeah, apparently Cody is just completely stunned at first. The humorous guess was that the dog, Outback, had stolen his sandwich or something. A classic Cody moment.
But it gets serious quickly, and the dog is involved.
Yeah. Outback the dog is kind of the bridge. Dante might be there initially to tell Cody that Outback is the dog that Emma and his son Gio have been looking for.
Ah, connecting over the lost dog mission.
Right. Establishes a bit of common ground, maybe.
Yeah.
And then Dante hits him with the real problem. What's the stupid thing he's thinking of doing?
What do the sources think it is?
The prevailing theory was that Dante is seriously considering confronting Britt, like going full protective dad mode and telling her to stay away from his son Rocco.
Oof, that sounds risky.
Extremely risky. The sources note that Dante and Cody are good friends, which is probably why Dante goes to him. He needs someone objective.
Because confronting Britt right now.
Yeah, she's tangled up with Jason, who wants to protect her, and she's got these dangerous WSB people after her. Dante wading in like that could backfire spectacularly. He's trying to protect his son, but he could easily make a powerful enemy or put Rocco in more danger. He needs Cody to talk him down.
That makes sense. He needs that outside perspective before he does something impulsive. Amidst all this rising tension, though, there are these little moments of connection happening on Thursday, like Jason bonding with Tracy.
Yeah, it's brief, but significant.
Yep.
Jason, who's usually so stoic, making an effort with Tracy, maybe softening her up a little.
Why is that timing important?
The sources suggest it's like the calm before the storm. This small moment of connection makes the tragedy that's coming hit Tracy even harder. It highlights what she's about to lose in terms of family, even the complicated parts.
Got it. And the younger generation is also reaching out? Gio goes to see Sonny.
Right. He needs Sonny's help. The obvious guess is maybe putting up that reward money for finding Outback, the dog, like he promised Emma.
But the sources hinted it could be more.
Yeah, they flagged it could be something else. Anytime a younger character seeks out Sonny directly, it usually signals something bigger than just a lost pet. Right. It's about power, resources, protection. It shows Gio stepping up, recognizing who holds the cards in Port Charles.
And finally, we have Charlotte talking to Lulu.
Yeah, opening up about missing her father, Valentin. This is another thread setting up future conflict, specifically Lulu's upcoming tough decisions about her kids, which will directly impact Dante again next week.
So many threads. The bribe, the WSB secrets, Britt's danger, Dante's stress, these family moments, all converging towards Friday.
Exactly. Everything is accelerating towards this one massive, unavoidable event. A huge cliffhanger.
Okay, let's brace ourselves. Friday, September 19th.
All right, Friday. This is it. The event that changes everything for the Quartermaines and, really, all of Port Charles. It starts with Dante.
He's found pleading, is that right?
Yes. And the heartbreaking speculation, which seems almost certain given the context, is that he's the one who discovers Monica Quartermaine has passed away. He's pleading with her to wake up.
Wow. Having Dante be the one to find her, that's brutal.
It's incredibly impactful storytelling. Dante's already overloaded with stress from the bribery case, worrying about Rocco and Britt, and now he's thrown right into the epicenter of this immense family tragedy. It just multiplies his burden exponentially, pushes him right to the edge.
Just devastating for him and for everyone, obviously.
Absolutely. And we should probably pause here because the sources did touch upon the real-world aspect of this, saying goodbye to the actress, Leslie Charlson, and the character she embodied for so long.
Right. Handling the death of such a beloved veteran character requires a lot of care.
Exactly. The sources mention looking at how other shows, like Days of Our Lives, handled similar situations when longtime actors passed away. The likely approach, they suggested, would be using a body double or careful camera work, so Monica isn't explicitly shown. Maybe just seeing someone under the covers, perhaps with similar hair.
It's about respect, isn't it? Honoring her legacy without needing to show something traumatic on screen.
Precisely. It allows the focus to be on the reactions of the other characters and on the audience's own grief and memories of Monica. It avoids a potentially graphic depiction and handles the character's exit with dignity.
The reality of her death is confirmed pretty quickly, though, through Jason's reaction.
Yes. Jason, her adopted son, is shown expressing deep regret on Friday. Regret about their past estrangement, the time lost.
That hits hard, especially knowing Jason's usual emotional reserve.
It's immediate and powerful. And it moves quickly from regret to action. By the end of the day, Jason makes the official call. He reports a death.
That seals it. That's the cliffhanger for the week, leaving everyone reeling.
Utterly. Just the weight of that news dropping as the week ends.
But the news starts to ripple out even before that final scene, doesn't it? Liz Weber has bad news for Drew.
Given everything, the sources were certain. This is Liz telling Drew about Monica. As another core Quartermain, he's hit with this immediately, and you know his focus is going to shift entirely away from that bribery mess.
Family first, in the face of tragedy.
Always. But amidst this darkness, there's one tiny sliver of light mentioned for Friday. Gio is stepping up for Emma.
Right. So whatever he asks Sonny for on Thursday?
It seems he came through. Whether it was the reward for the dog or something more, he fulfilled his promise to Emma. It's a small but necessary moment of youthful responsibility and success against the backdrop of overwhelming loss.
A little bit of hope. And then as Friday closes, there's that other huge tease the sources were buzzing about. Lulu helps an accident victim.
And the rumor mill went into overdrive. This might be the moment, the sources speculated, where we finally catch a peek of Nathan West, possibly played by Ryan Pavey, making that long-rumored return.
Wow. Talk about emotional whiplash. Monica's death, followed potentially by Nathan's return.
Classic soap opera. Maximum drama. Nathan showing up right then, given his connection to Britt and Liesl, feels incredibly calculated. It sets the stage for a whole new dynamic during the mourning period.
A truly devastating end to the week, but it perfectly sets up the aftermath we need to unpack next. Okay, so we move into the week of September 22nd to the 26th, and Port Charles is fundamentally changed. Focus is now on mourning Monica.
Absolutely. The sources made it clear this isn't just a quick mention.
Yeah.
Word spreads fast, and the entire town is described as being devastated. This grief is going to hang heavy over everything.
And it's not a short-term thing?
No. The sources stress this mourning period will last for weeks, likely building towards the actual memorial service later on. And we really need to appreciate the significance of this for the viewers, too.
Definitely. Monica Quartermain, Leslie Charlson. She's been a cornerstone of General Hospital since the 70s, right? Since the Loop and Laura days.
Exactly. For many, many viewers, Monica has always been there. She's part of the show's DNA, connected to decades of iconic stories. Losing her is like losing a piece of the show's history, the heart of the Quartermain family as we've known it.
It's a huge loss, both in the story and for the audience. And this brings us directly back to one of our main threads. Tracy Quartermain's heartbreak.
Yes. The sources confirm that Monica's death absolutely crushes Tracy, fulfilling that prediction from the start.
Why does it hit Tracy so particularly hard? They were often at odds, weren't they?
Oh, constantly. But that's kind of the point, isn't it? Monica was Tracy's ultimate foil within the family, her constant rival, the counterweight to Tracy's ambition and schemes.
So losing her, it's more than just sadness.
The analysis suggests it's like losing her primary sparring partner, the person who, in many ways, defined Tracy's own role in the Q mansion. That constant friction, that rivalry, it was a source of energy for Tracy. Losing Monica means losing that dynamic, that history, that anchor. It leaves a profound void.
That makes a lot of sense. It's a deep, complicated grief. And this loss impacts Jason immediately, too.
Remember his regret on Friday. Now that translates into responsibility. Despite wanting to pursue Britt, his focus has to shift entirely. The sources say he needs to step up for the family, help organize the memorial. His personal desires take a back seat.
But just as the family is grappling with this loss, we get that potential shocker, the return of Nathan West.
Right. If that rumor pans out, his appearance is described as absolutely stunning.
Yep.
And the timing is everything.
How so? What's the strategic purpose of bringing him back right now?
Well, think about Britt and Liesl. Britt's been trying to mend fences with her mother. Nathan's return, Britt's beloved brother, Liesl's son, is positioned as the catalyst for healing that rift.
He's the bridge between them.
Exactly. His presence forces a kind of family reckoning, a reason for them to come together and perhaps find reconciliation in a way that might not have happened otherwise, especially amidst all the grief and chaos. It's a calculated move to reset that family dynamic.
And Nathan's return, or potential return, feeds right into the speculation about Britt's future, doesn't it?
It really does. The WSB drama hasn't just vanished because Monica died. So the sources were heavily debating Britt's next steps. Does she fight to get her medical license back? Go back to being Dr. Westbourne at GH?
That feels like the safer, more traditional path for her.
It is. It's her known identity. But then there's the other option, leaning into the danger she's already involved in. The sources mentioned a rumor she might return to GH, but also that the WSB is very interested in talking to her.
Working for the WSB, potentially under Jack Brennan.
Yeah, it's the implication. It presents this stark choice. Return to the familiar life of medicine in Port Charles, or embrace this new, dangerous path in the world of espionage. It's a potentially huge shift for her character.
Especially with her brother possibly back in the picture to, ground her or complicate things further.
That's the question. Does his return pull her back towards family and stability, or does it free her up somehow to take bigger risks? Her choice will really redefine her.
Meanwhile, Dante's stress doesn't let up either. His crisis just evolves, now involving Lulu directly.
Right. Lulu is suddenly facing two really difficult choices regarding their children, and both directly impact Dante.
What are the choices?
First, it's about Rocco and Britt. Remember, Dante wanted to warn Britt off. Now Lulu has to decide. Does she let Rocco keep spending time with Britt, knowing Britt is mixed up in all this dangerous WSB stuff and is technically a fugitive?
That's a tough call, weighing Rocco's bond with Britt against the obvious risk.
Exactly. A classic parental nightmare. The second choice involves Charlotte and Valentin. Lulu has to determine how much access Charlotte should have to her father.
Who is, let's face it, always complicated and often dangerous.
Always. So Lulu's navigating co-parenting with someone inherently risky. Both decisions about Rocco and about Charlotte put immense pressure back on Dante as their father and Lulu's co-parent. His stress levels remain pegged at maximum.
It seems like nothing is getting resolved, just morphing into new problems.
Pretty much. Which brings us back to that flawed bribery case. It's still hanging around.
What's the latest development there?
Drew has managed to get Martin Gray back on his legal team, and he's going to forcefully deny all the charges.
And his defense looks pretty strong.
Surprisingly so, maybe. The source suggested the DA herself is not entirely sure she can move forward with the evidence from the safe, which kind of validates a critique that the whole premise was weak to begin with.
They double down on the money trail issue.
Yeah, reiterating that point. $1 million just vanishing from someone like Drew's accounts without a clear electronic trail. It doesn't make sense. They think it's unlikely the prosecution can actually trace it back to Drew convincingly.
Okay, so if the case against Drew is shaky, where does the pressure shift?
Back onto Michael. Specifically onto his alibi witness, Jacinda.
Ah, the weak link.
Exactly. The sources paint her as potentially unreliable, someone whose testimony might crumble under pressure, especially if money is involved. She's described as potentially being for sale to the highest bidder.
That's dangerous for Michael.
Very. The whole case against him could hinge on this one person's word, and her loyalty seems questionable. And this is where Sonny steps back in.
Why does Sonny need to get involved now?
Because he sees the vulnerability. He can't risk Michael's fate resting on an unstable witness who might flip or be bought off. Sonny needs to find a way to manage the Jacinda situation to neutralize that risk before she compromises Michael's defense.
So even though the initial bribery accusations seemed flimsy, the fallout is still creating real danger and requiring Sonny's intervention.
Absolutely. It might be based on a weak premise, but the political maneuvering and the potential consequences are very real. It's still a high-stakes game.
Wow. Okay, so looking back at these two incredibly packed weeks, we've had the monumental shock of Monica's death, changing the Quartermain landscape forever. We have the potential return of Nathan, aimed at healing one family rift while maybe opening up new paths for Britt. We've seen Dante push to his absolute limit, juggling detective work, parental fears, and now profound grief. And this messy bribery scandal continues to simmer, threatening to boil over thanks to unreliable witnesses and Sonny's need to protect his family.
It's really a potent mix, isn't it? Tragedy creates a vacuum, and into that vacuum rushes revelation, Nathan's return, and ongoing intrigue like the WSB plot and the bribery case. Monica's death isn't an ending, it's a catalyst. It forces everyone, from Tracy grieving her rival to Jason balancing duty and desire to fundamentally reassess their lives and loyalties.
It really does, and it sets up so much going forward. Which leads us to our final thought for you, the listener. The sources really emphasize Nathan's return as being strategically timed to heal the divide between Britt and Liesl. That's about repairing family bonds. But think about the scale of the Quartermain loss with Monica, someone who, despite all the family dysfunction, often represented a kind of enduring loyalty.
A complicated loyalty, but loyalty nonetheless.
Exactly. So how might Nathan's return and Britt's potential subsequent choice to align herself with the ruthless, morally ambiguous WSB actually redefine what family loyalty even means in Port Charles now? Is it about blood ties and history, like with the Quartermains? Or is it becoming more about shared secrets, survival, and maybe even aligning with powerful, dangerous organizations? What does loyalty look like in this new landscape?
That's a fascinating question to chew on. Where do those lines get drawn now?
Something for you to think about until our next deep dive.
We'll see you then.